Okay, this is like take 25. Who knows? I just wanted to talk about what to do when you get your first Oracle deck and some common misconceptions about starting reading cards. So yeah, tarot, Oracle, playing cards, whatever. This is for you all who wanted to know. So first, when you get your first deck, it doesn't have to be a gift. It doesn't have to come from somebody. It doesn't have to be handed down. Honestly, I would advocate for picking out your own. You could take the time to shop online, like somewhere Llewellyn, Etsy, or Barnes and Noble's website. But you could also go to like your local metaphysical or occult shop. For those of us around here in Michigan, something like Earthlore that still carries a lot of merchandise is an awesome place to go look for cards. You don't have to start out with the Rider-Waite, but I would recommend starting out with something that has relatively traditional symbolism so that you can learn the symbolism without guesswork. At least for the tarot. If you're looking to start working with oracle cards, there's not a particular traditional way for those to look. Go for something that you feel is a good beginner deck for you. And then you can move on to more abstract imagery from there as you learn to trust your intuition more. And if you're already a more abstract person, start with that and trust your intuition more. But overall, it's based on knowing yourself. Another thing is that it's good to cleanse your cards regularly. I had a friend, I love her so much, who did a ton of readings and never cleansed her cards and was like, why am I getting the same message all the time? Why does this energy feel weird? What's going on here? Even if you're only reading for yourself, even if you keep the cards wrapped up neatly in a box or a bag and put out of the way and they're not touching anything and you charge them under the full moon, you need to cleanse them. If you were angry when you did one reading and sad when you did the other, and then the third reading you were perfectly even and you sat and you prepared and you laid the space out, all of your energy from those times is on those cards. And if you haven't been doing readings when you're centered and actually ready for guidance and able to receive it from a detached point of view, then that kind of muddled and disappointed energy might be on your cards. So cleanse them. It can be super easy and super simple. You can pass them through incense smoke. So that's one of my favorites, and it's a very easy thing to do. Just you have your incense, shoop, shoop, done. You can knock on them. That's what I do. I'll show you. That's so silly, but just in between readings. When I read at a shop, that's what I did. I would pass them through smoke and I would knock on them. I don't know. I blow on them sometimes, shuffling just to shake them up. But removing that old energy is important, and it is really good to do that at times like the new moon or the full moon if you want to cleanse them with salt or pass them over a candle flame or lay them outside under the moonlight. Those are all perfectly acceptable ways to, energetically cleanse and charge your cards also. What else was I going to say? Just for those like kind of beginner things. It doesn't have to be a gift. You can pick it out yourself. And it's more important to pick it out yourself because you want it to be something that you connect with. You want it to be imagery and art that you connect with. You don't have to keep it wrapped up in a fancy cloth, but you do need to keep the cards put away and clean and respected. You don't have to do a full cleanse, charge everything every time you use them, but you do need to regularly cleanse them, and between each read, do something like knocking on them, blowing on them, shuffling them up to shake off that old energy. So, say you've done all of this. You got your first deck, you're super excited, you're like, I can't wait to start working with them, I can't wait to read, but I don't know what any of the cards mean, what do I do now? A couple things. One, you could do something that a lot of readers have done throughout the years, which is pick a card a day. Pick the card and study it for a second and let your intuition kind of guide the message that comes up for you. And take note of the colors, take note of the direction the characters are facing, what they're holding, and And as you do that, like, write notes down in your journal, your phone, or just at least verbalize them to yourself so you can recall that conversation later in the day or in the evening when you look back and go, did this energy play into my day, and how did I recognize it playing into my day? Oh, fuck. I was going to push my glasses up and they're not there. And I would suggest doing this without checking the book or checking the meanings first and then checking the meaning, because you want your intuition to be unadulterated by other information first, especially if you're starting out just learning how to trust yourself, just learning how to kind of find your groove with reading. So I would recommend grabbing a card a day. Justice, for example, like, can speak to weighing out consequences. And the card that was beneath it, the card that we had pulled first, was our Ace of Swords. Swords are potential. Aces are potential. And swords speak to intellect and to masculinity and to the suit of air, and ideas. If you put these two cards together, what would you get? That's a really good way to practice. There are consequences coming into play, but with the ending of something becomes the beginning of another thing. When whatever this ordeal is over, I have potential. When this video is over, when this video is finished, I will have completed a cycle that I set out to complete, which was posting videos for you guys. And that gives me new information, and it gives me new confidence in myself, and it helps me to take action and to enact my desires. That's Justice, and that's your Ace of Swords. So daily tarot practice and paying attention to the imagery and paying attention to your own interpretation and then checking the meaning is a really easy way to get acquainted with your deck, and to get acquainted with the tarot. But sorry guys, I just did a reading before this, but I've been wanting to do this video so badly, and I'm so excited about it. So as always, it's very real and, like, you know, not super polished, but I was excited about it. So we talked about that a little bit. We talked about getting your deck. We talked about cleansing it, storing it, and learning a little bit of the basics. But what if, like, I don't know, what if you want to do a particular spread? The Celtic Cross is a really good one to look up, or 3-card spreads. Past, present, future is super well known, but you might want to look at, like, mind, heart, soul. You might want to look at situation, action, and outcome. Simple 3-card spreads are a really great way for you to get insight and learn your deck without overwhelming yourself. A Celtic Cross is 10 cards, and it's full of information, and it's really great for learning, but it can be overwhelming. And it's easy to get wrapped up in doing readings and being excited about it. And you don't want to overwhelm yourself with information or become discouraged because you're doing 900 Celtic Crosses when you could do 3 or 4 different 3-card spreads. So yeah. Oh, that brings me to another myth. You don't want to do readings for yourself. Wrong. Complete bullshit. Completely wrong. It stems from the concern that A, your readings are tainted because your will is, or rather what you want, not your will, but what you want, your ego desires are there messing up the reading. The other thought is that, oh, fuck, I forgot. But it's understandable that you would have concern about your ego being present in the reading and messing it up. However, doing readings for yourself is very helpful. It can be very insightful. There are 900 different spreads. There are 9 million different questions. In Interview Your Deck reading, you're not going to go book a reader for that. You should not be giving anybody money to do an Interview Your Deck. You should not be giving anybody money to pull a morning guidance. If you want to work with a spirit, and if you want to have a reading for a spirit, yes, you can book one, but wouldn't it be better if you had that direct connection yourself? So I have nothing against doing readings for yourself as long as you're not doing too many. And as long as you're doing them in constructive ways. I would not advocate 10 readings for yourself on relationships. But you could do one on bringing love to yourself. And you could do one on learning to love yourself and another on emotional opening. So the type of reading that you do is far more important, I think, than whether or not you're doing it for yourself. And also practice is key. If you're only doing 3 readings for yourself a year because you don't want to overstep doing readings for yourself, then you won't practice at all. If you're doing readings for others, that's great and it helps, but a reader can only give the information that they can also receive. You can only share from a point that you can see from. If you haven't done the work to dig into yourself and open up, then you can't look at your client in an open way. So again, I advocate doing readings for yourself, for insight and for knowledge. Even if, you do a lot of them one week and only 2 the next week, that's okay. Pick your own schedule, work your own time, and let your intuition develop itself. Let's see. I feel like that's most of what I wanted to share. Just what to do when you get your first deck. Research. Find one that fits you. Find one that resonates with you. Cleanse it and consecrate it to your use. So really easy way to do that, say you cleansed it, you've put it through smoke or in salt or whatever. You have your deck, and your purpose for this deck is to work for your own spiritual growth. So not focusing just on witchcraft, or not focusing on academics or career or anything like that, but just for spiritual growth. You could take your deck and hold it, to your heart. Sometimes I'll hold it to my forehead. I just like to hold things like crystals and stuff there, and really tune it to that third eye area and to that crown chakra area. But yeah, you want to consecrate it to your use. So you can hold it to your heart, and you can make up your own words and be very simple. Just Holy Creator, or he, she, they, them, whatever works for you. Holy Creator, I consecrate this deck to my use for my spiritual growth. I welcome the insights that come with the use of this deck, and I welcome developing a working relationship with the spirit of this deck. It's done. You know what I mean? You can use your own words. Amen, Ashe, it is done, so mote it be, however. But now you've connected to this deck. You've put your purpose to it. And then you can charge it. Lay those fuckers out under the sun, under the moon, under a black light. I don't know. Pile them up with crystals. Selenite, quartz, amethyst. Put them all together. That was an ugly way to do that. Selenite, quartz, and amethyst. Good intuition stones. Yeah, put those with your cards. Charge them up. Help them get intuition and knowledge, wisdom, spirituality based energy around them, or whatever you've chosen their purpose to be. So yeah, I hope I hope that was helpful. Keep an eye out for the May full moon guidance video, and keep an eye out for my first official blog on demonology and demonic magic and angelic magic, where I will be talking about some things I'm working on now. Yeah. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep being creative and sending me questions about things. And I will keep giving you my very real broadcast from home videos on witchcraft. And that's it. Okay. Bye. God, that's a Midwestern goodbye, but goodbye.